All right. Welcome to another episode of Unbreakable Mompreneurs. Today I'm with Audrye Arbe, and I am so excited. We've actually had a fun time just connecting. Right? Now, we have to say your hair is not really purple, right?
No, it's not.
So when she moves forward, it turns black. And since she, yes, but we love purple, so that's okay, right?
Yeah,
So, Audrey, why don't we
yeah.
start by you telling us a little about yourself?
But I am a clairvoyant. I'm a healer. I'm an author. I have 4 books. A couple of won awards. I am an artist. I just showed you some of the rocks.
You did.
I have actual art in Florida. Here I've got frequency stones. I'm a course creator. I have 4 online. No, I have 3. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 online courses. And I'm exploring life. I'm here on the planet to make it better. Okay, what it is to raise frequency.
Mhm.
And being a mother, and I am one, is to me one of the most important, sacred experiences anyone can have. And I don't take it doesn't mean I don't joke. I joke. You have to. If you don't joke and if you don't laugh as a mom, you're going to be destroyed.
That's
You're never going to make it for
true.
your kids either. And so the first book I wrote, I thought, what's the most important thing? And so to me, the most important thing is being a mother and raising a child. So my first book is The Mother's Manual, a spiritual and practical guide to child rearing and motherhood.
But who was it written for? Your first book.
That's funny. I actually, when I was writing it, thought, let me write this so anyone could understand it. So I wrote it for my mother. In the book, I explain stuff so that anyone can understand. So no matter where anyone is, either in their journey to being a mom, including thinking, do I want to be a mom? I don't know. What about blah, 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 and all that? 2, your kid is already a mother. It covers all of that.
You're in Costa Rica right now. What made you decide to get up and move to Costa Rica?
I'm in my 8th decade.
Yes, you
I
are.
am literally in my 8th decade, which is astounding to me, by the way. So the place I was renting in outside of Fort Lauderdale, in a little town that called itself a city, Lauderdale Lakes. And I'm sorry I laugh at this, but I'm from New York, and a thing that this big is not a city to me. Okay, it's just not. Okay,
Right. Mhm.
and I know that New York arrogance, whatever. Anyway, so when I first started to rent it, they said I'd never have to move. Now, I never intended to stay there forever and a day, but I thought, okay, I can kind of just lay back and kind of do whatever. So things happened in her life. Her husband passed, and at a certain point, she said she was going to sell the place and that she'd give me plenty of time to move. I'm born under the sun sign of Cancer, and if anybody knows anything about Cancerians, we need to have a home. So I looked at, I needed to move somewhere where I would be able to pay for everything I needed to pay for. And I have stuff I have to take care of financially.
Mhm.
And I'm into health a lot. So I thought the blue zones. So I looked where they were, and I like warm. I don't like cold.
Mhm.
And I came up with Costa Rica. So I went to Costa Rica literally because my lease was running out at a certain point and I wanted to then leave. Okay. And I checked out a few places. And without going into that whole thing, I actually found a place.
What are some of the things you've done in your life?
First, I had to explore in my 20s and figure out, what am I?
Mhm.
Who am I? What's life? Because I certainly wasn't what most people acted like. It didn't appeal to me. I never could understand getting up, going to a job
Mhm.
that one didn't like, because I'd seen this, and then coming home and being exhausted just to get up to go to a job you don't like. And I swore when I was young, I was never going to do that. That
Right.
whatever my life was going to be, that was not it. So in my 20s, I did go to college. I quit because I thought, ugh, I don't like this. I didn't, okay? It was a teacher's college and I didn't know that I wanted to be a writer. Didn't have the courage. Anyway, so I quit, couldn't get a decent job. So I went back, completed, did not really work to my capacity. I was an underachiever. So I did get a job as a teacher. I taught a book they didn't like. I taught Brave New World. So that was the short end to that particular career. And then I did computer programming because I thought, let's see. I didn't like that. I liked solving the problem.
Right.
I really loved solving the problem. Then I was done, but you're not done. You have to code it and you have to make it work and all that. So I did that for a half a minute and that didn't work. And then I thought, well, I want to write. So somehow, I don't know how I did this, but I got a job writing computer manuals. I'm not a techie. I don't know how I managed to hold that onto that for a little period of time. And then that left. And then I did a lot of weird stuff. And I really started to look at what did I really, really, really want to do. And then at that point, I'd moved to New York. I was no longer in the family home. I was in the city. So I was learning about life on a whole different level and different people in different cultures and different colorations and different backgrounds and all of this stuff, because you will find that in New York,
Right.
in Manhattan, which you may not find too many other places. And I just started growing. So I've written books. This is, ta-da, I wrote it for kids. What if you are and life is miraculous, and the printed versions are on 100% post-consumer recycled paper. We got an award,
Nice.
a publishing award
That's
for
great.
that.
And I
And
think that there are a lot of people, I'm sure there's some listeners right now that are like that, where they just feel like, I know my daughter's one of them, a 9 to 5 job is not their style. They just feel like there's something else that they're supposed to be doing in a different way that they're supposed to go. And I think that, growing up, did you feel any pressure from your parents or from family members that you just need to go get a job? You just need to get a real job. And how did you handle that?
I got fired from teaching.
Okay.
Because, well, I'm not someone who can do stuff I don't believe in.
Right.
And I didn't then have the full courage to really get out and do everything I wanted to do. I'm still working on having that full courage, by the way. I can't be what I'm not.
So
It just sits wrong inside of me. I've done it for a long time. I mean, I did hold on to a job because I had to support myself when I moved out of the house, which I did when I was 23, and moved to Manhattan.
yeah,
And
your generation, it's like the last of the cool generation. I admire your generation and the work and the dedication and the perspective that you have, that you just keep going. You just don't let any obstacles in your way. At what point, how many children do you have?
I have one daughter
Okay.
who has 6 children. So I have 6 amazing grandchildren.
So how did you support yourself, with family? How did that dynamic, how'd you balance?
I became, I found a publishing company. I worked at a few of them because I'm into words. I wanted to be a writer. And now I mean, I am a writer now, but I wasn't then. And so if it at least had something to do with words, I felt I was connecting to something that was real inside of me. And so I was a copy editor. I was an English teacher that lasted just not so long, computer programmer, and all of that. And then I became an editor, copy editor and proofreader and stuff like that. News editor of a trade publication, managing editor, not a big deal. It sounds like I made a pot of money. I didn't make a pot of money and all of that. And I liked that it wasn't 9 to 5. Some of it was 10 to 6, but I preferred that. And then I found a particular company, I'd rather not name names of some of who I worked for. And one of them was walking distance from where I lived at the time, which was gold to me. So when I found where I could work a little more informally, at least I was at the time, in the way I dressed, it was not business attire. But I was not like anyone that anyone saw. I was doing the copy editing. You didn't see me. I wasn't the reporter that was out there. And I liked that because I could walk to work. It was more casual, at least some of us were. I mean, I wasn't impossible. And I did that for several years. And then at a certain point, I was asking myself, because I felt like a fake. What's that term people use when they feel they're not who, imposter, okay? That this wasn't who I am. I thought, why am I doing this? And I knew I was doing it because I had to support myself and I had to support my kid.
Right.
In fact, it was while I was working there that I found out I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And I had a choice to make.
Mhm.
See, I never know what I'm going to say, but I told you I'm very real.
Right.
And I
But
did want to be pregnant. He was the one he was my guy, and we had a kind of unusual relationship in various ways. We were in the process of splitting up. And one of the gentlemen where I worked, who was older, I was in my 30s, and he was in his 70s, and he wondered what I was going to do. And I meditated and mulled, and I wanted this child. I wanted to be a mother. So I did not know how I was going to handle it. I had no idea, but I decided I'm having this kid. And that was what I decided. We did get back together. Yes, no, and I made certain reconditions on that. And that's what happened. And I stayed with him for, God, I stayed with him till my daughter was 2. Then I left him, and then he passed away when she was 7. So I
Wow.
became a full-on single mother.
And it's hard sometimes because I was a single mom for a while as well. And, you have the weight on your shoulders, but at that generation, I'm assuming that it was a little more difficult because do you feel like you had a glass ceiling that you were facing? Did you feel like there was just some discrimination?
I never wanted to do anything there. It's like, what was I going to be, a publisher? I didn't care about that. This wasn't my stuff. So at a certain point in time, I left. I discovered, and I had studied, that I am a psychic. I did not know that. I knew I'm a walking intuitive because I've been that since I'm little.
Right.
I've always known stuff. I've always known stuff. I've always been able to sense stuff. And then I had begun studying. I studied astrology. I do charts. And at a certain point, when I'd had enough of this other thing, it was time to move on to that. And I discovered that there was this studio in the city. When I say the city, it means Manhattan. In the city that was paying per the hour for people to do readings. So I was lucky enough to get a job doing that. And I wanted to work only a certain amount of hours because I am a mom. And I'm a single mom. And I wanted to be with my child. I didn't have my child so someone else could raise her.
Right.
I had her so I could raise her. And it would be nice if I had a partner, but that was not the way it played out. And so I did have people to take care of, wonderful people, while I was working. But I worked on TV doing readings.
Oh, wow.
And at a certain point, then I got private readings, and then I had private clients. And I was loving that. Loving that. So I was in that world for a number of years. I did seminars. I just did stuff. And I don't remember when I started writing. Because my first book, my daughter was 21. So it took a while till that was the mother's manual, till I really got that out. And I was making little pictures. I meditate, so I'd make an Om and I go into my zone, and I have a book full of them. And that was the pictures that ended up being in What If You Are and Life is Miraculous. At this point, I have paintings that are 5 feet by 4 feet, which is bigger than I am because I'm 4'10", and they are all available. And don't get caught up in the numbers.
Mhm.
The fact that I'm in my 8th decade, I actually said this to a friend of mine, I don't know, a couple days ago. I thought, I'm not old.
Mm-mm.
That's a concept in
Yeah.
someone's head.
Yep.
That then I would give this number that said, that's not how I feel.
Yep.
Not even remotely. Okay. I still have energy. My mind works, everything. Look, when I was 18, I would really like that a whole lot. I do some exercise, yoga, trampoline, walk. I realized I'm now using that I'm young. I'm eternal. And we
Yep.
are.
Yeah.
When I birthed my daughter, I had a near-death experience. I saw the shiny light beings. There's no words, and I'm a woman that's got words to be able to really explain what that was. It is beyond anything
Mm.
I have experienced in this life, and I have experienced some very unique things in this life. So I no longer have a fear of death. I'm not running to die, by the way. That's not okay. I intend to be here for a long time because, for nothing else, one, I still have stuff to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely have stuff to do and stuff to experience. And I have 6 grandbabies. I choose to be here for them and my daughter
Right.
and
No,
all of
I
that.
think that that's mindset. You know, something I talk about in my book a lot is mindset is everything. And you're absolutely right. I only point your age out because of what you've accomplished and because of how young and spry you are. Because honestly, it's great to talk and to show people that, you know, some people think, oh my gosh, I'm so old, and they're 53 years old, or I can't do this anymore because I'm old. And it's like, wow, you are shortchanging yourself so much. Somebody posted something on Facebook today that I saw where you had like Morgan Freeman. He didn't get his first big role until he was 52. You had all these other people that started in their 40s. You had, you know, somebody that started at 47 years old. I should find that Facebook post, but it's never too late. And you
No,
can't look back and say, oh, I wish I would have, could have, should have. But my question to you is, what would you say to your 18-year-old self if you could only give one piece of advice? You're sitting on a park bench next to her and she's just sitting there talking with you. What is one piece of advice that you would give her?
believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and love yourself. You're amazing.
Mhm.
All that stuff you've got going on and you want, it's real.
Yeah,
Believe in yourself
and do it.
and love yourself and
Yeah,
take it forward.
I like that.
And when any of us make a quote unquote mistake,
Mhm.
clear it up, fix it. Don't let it sit. People get old because they don't clear their emotional body. I call it genetic karmic patterning, which also has to do with ancestors and blah, 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 blah. Past lives. If someone doesn't believe, just don't, okay, but whatever. If we don't clear that, one does get old because it becomes part of the physical structure. It becomes part of the mental structure. We are made of energy. We are energy. Everything is connected. And if somebody wants to know the physics of it, go to Resonance Science, RESONANCE, science, SCIENCE.org. Nassim Haramein and his team put that together. I am not the physicist, I'm the metaphysicist, okay? And it's astounding. Is it easy to read? Not so much, unless you're a physicist.
No, and
Is it worth it? Yeah.
and that is a good point because again, in my book I talk about the fourth turning, and I forgot who the authors are, but it's the fourth turning, and they talk about how, imagine generations, there's 4 generations, or there's a ladder with 4 rungs, and you know, you start and you have this level and you go to the next one, the next one, the next one, and the 4th level is called crisis, right? And so that's where every 80 to 100 years there's a generational shift, and it sounds like you are that generational shift where things happen and you said, nope, I'm not going to accept it the way it is. And you know, I don't know a lot of what you talk about with genetics and how, but I do think that we are taught from our grandparents and our great grandparents, and they it goes down the line. And finally, someone wakes up one morning and goes, I don't like that. I'm going
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
it, you know. And
It's
so,
called epigenetics. Do you know what that is?
no,
Epigenetics?
mm-mm,
Okay, so, okay, again, I'm maybe not giving the exact thing. We do have genetics within us. We have hormones. We have all that. We have genes. I mean, all this stuff. And some people think, and I used to think, that's it. That's what you got. No,
mhm,
we could change that. But epigenetics is
mhm,
being able to literally affect your own genetics, whether it's through meditation, through what you eat, through what you tell yourself. And I don't know what that is. It's my phone. And so, whatever. And so, whatever it might be that you would like, use affirmations. When I was at the gym
mhm.
and I did this, it was like a litany. I am young, strong, healthy, firm, thin, flexible, energetic, muscular, curvy, sexy, beautiful, centered, balanced, prosperous. And when you do affirmations, you have to feel it.
Mhm.
You have to let it go into yourself. When
Right.
you want to make a change within yourself or somewhere else, you can't just blah, words. I
Right.
said that really quickly just to get it out, but you have to feel it.
Right.
If you don't feel it, if you don't make it part of who you are, if you don't align, let me phrase it positively, feel it, align with it, allow it, and then also take steps congruent with it. I
So the
wanted to be healthy.
feel it, allow it. What was the third step?
Feel it,
Mhm.
align with it, allow it, and take steps congruent with it.
Feel it, allow it, align it, and take steps. It's a four-step process, and that is so true. It's been scientifically proven that our brain doesn't know reality versus fantasy. And so what you just said, where it's kind of your mantra, and it just rolled off your tongue, but you're used to it and you believe it. So you can actually say it quickly because you believe it and you know it. Whereas somebody else is like, oh, what, huh? And it's just like a baby learning to walk. You know, they're going to take a few steps, they're going to stumble, they're going to fall down, but eventually they can run. And so that's something that teaching your brain to think differently and to believe, you know, as you talked about your 18-year-old self, to believe and go do it. And those are the things that I really admire in you, that you have, that you go do. You've
Thank you.
4 books, you're a painter, you know, you're this entrepreneur, but you're a mother, and that's important to you. And
Very.
I commend you. Those are great things.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you.
what is one golden nugget that you could leave with our audience that um, you would want somebody who, imagine a mom who is just stressed out in the day, feeling the weight of her shoulders on, maybe dealing with all the kids, the deal didn't go very well. What would you give as advice?
Take time for yourself. Take time, prioritize yourself in the sense that it's important to love your kids and all that. That's a given. Okay. It's absolutely, and whatever else. However, take time for yourself. When I was studying the psychic healing arts, one of the teachers said, after me, you come first.
Right.
After me, you come first. If you don't take care of yourself and you think you're being a good mom, oh, I'm so good. No,
That's
you're
true.
going to wear yourself to a frazzle
Mhm.
and you won't be able to give to whomever, and you will resent. You're going to get annoyed. You're going to get angry. Learn how to express emotions. If you need help, call on me because I can help you with that. That's part of what I do. And always allow yourself to grow. And then laughter. You have to be able to laugh, not act,
Right.
not act with the sheer intoxication of being alive. Get out and walk. I mean, it was easy for me. I'm young. I'd be on the machine at the gym where you
Yeah. No.
young, strong, and I'd say it and I'd feel and I would do it. And it's like it got into me.
You know, it's interesting.
Wow.
I used to be a director of a massage school, and a few years ago I drove by and they tore it down to build apartment complexes. And there was such a history in that place. But the thing that was cool is there was a class, like I was the director. I knew nothing about massage, but there was this class where the teacher would make them go hug this tree, right? And so
Yes.
I had been there for probably 30 or 35, 40 years. And the amount of hugs that that tree had. And I was sad because you could feel when you walked by, you could feel this energy, right? And so when they tore everything down, I'm just like, the tree's gone. How sad is that?
They took the tree.
Took the tree. But I think that, well, there are two trees, but that's the part that, I mean, there really is about, it's a physiological connection with Mother Earth. And if we were to go hug a tree or go like lay in the grass or go for a walk or something, we really do need that every single day. It's
You
amazing.
do. You do. I learned that when I studied with Sun Bear. And I also learned check the tree so you're not hugging ants. Make sure you put your little practical suggestion.
True.
Okay.
Or sap. Make
Yeah.
sure there's no sap.
Yes. And it's like, ugh. Okay.
I love that.
And then really feel it. Put your cheek against it. You will feel the tree. They're all different.
Mhm.
They are all different. And if you're exhausted, find the tree that you get what you need from it and thank the tree. Oh, gratitude. You have to have gratitude. No matter what. I thought gratitude. And at one point, yeah, I'm grateful I'm alive. I'm glad I can see. I had cataract surgery. And all of this, everything. Someone said gratitude for walking. And I thought, but I do that all the time. And then I thought, I do that all the time. Gratitude that I can walk.
Right.
I can bend over a tub and turn the water on. I know people who can't do that.
That's true.
Nothing. It's something. So have real gratitude and feel it. And then stuff starts opening up more and more. And
Yeah.
will there be challenges? Yes.
But
yes, we're living at a time where there is challenge, but that's because people have not been taking care of certain things that need to be taken care of. It's in our face so we can wake up and do what needs to be done with grace.
That's cool.
With grace.
Well, any last thoughts that you want to share?
Yes, I'm going to give you a really easy breathing attunement.
Okay.
And this is very simple. I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we're going to do it.
Okay.
We're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and then hold for the count of 4. We'll only do it maybe 2 or 3 rounds. This is simple, and it works. I'll guide you, okay?
Breathe in through your nose or breathe in through your mouth?
Do through your nose.
Okay.
Your mouth decides it wants to allow it.
Okay.
So take in a nice inhalation for the count of 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Slowly exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, and hold 2, 3, 4. Now just stay there for a moment in the silence and notice how you feel.
Relaxed. You do.
And how long did that take? Anyone can do this. As a mom, as in anything, do this when you think, take some private time. If you have to go in the bathroom and shut the door and sit on the throne, just to have privacy, do that. Do whatever you need to do and do this periodically. And are there more complicated ones? And yes, start simple. Keep it simple, sweetheart. That way you will do it and it will have an effect.
Thank
And
you.
that's what you want.
How do people find you if they want to get a hold of you?
Oh, my phone number, and it does have a US SIM card, so it's a local number, is 917-494-0628. My website is audryenow, audryenow.com, and you'll find a slew of stuff. And I really will work out almost anything if you want one of the paintings or drawings. It's time the universe said they have to go. I need to be free to move. Okay, wherever that's going to take me. And if you like email, it's audryenow, audryenow @gmail. I'm on Facebook, and thank you so much. And ladies, or whomever's a mother, however you identify, stay with it. Love yourself and love your child. Yes, I know it can go. Then take a pause, and then come back to it and love your child. Yes, I know it can go. Then take a pause, and then come back to it.
So I think the takeaways that I took away, there were so many nuggets in your thank you so much. But I think that
Welcome.
really making sure that you take the time for yourself and that you pause and take some deep breaths and calm down so that you can calm your entire body down. That was the first one. The second one is making sure that you just have the faith in yourself to keep going, and that the positive self-talk is so important, and be adventurous. You don't always have to play it safe. If you feel like you're not that type of person, you don't succumb to the pressures, that you can go ahead and believe in yourself and take the leap of faith. And because of that, I know it's made a huge difference in my life. I've been able to accomplish things I never would have had I played it safe. And I have met so many amazing people like Audrey, and I just appreciate your time. So thank you very much.
Thank you also. Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much.